I am responsible for working with community organizations to build and then maintain the relationships with them. And I work with organizations all over the Cook County area and work with groups of people that have identified legal problems that we may be able to help with. And that includes grandparents that are raising their grandkids, parents that are interested in improving their neighborhood, their community, survivors of domestic violence that want to share information about what they have learned with others to hopefully prevent violence in the future, and also with community organizations that want to bring more resources to a certain community. That's what I do on a day-to-day basis, and it's wonderful. I have seen it in a number of occasions, and I've had the privilege to participate in some of those experiences. One example I have that LAF is actually a part of is working with a community group to help people eliminate medical debt. And we have the ability to represent people in court and challenge bills that they receive from hospitals because they can't afford to pay them. But we were seeing so many of them that we decided we needed to look for another strategy. And we found organizations that are trying to do the same thing. So what we did is we worked with the staff and their volunteers to develop just a training and then tools so that we can help community members eliminate their own medical debt, write their own letters, their own applications, make their phone calls insisting that this debt be eliminated, and then in situations where that hasn't been enough, we have filed lawsuits against the hospitals for failing to do what they were supposed to do, which was waive or eliminate that debt. And that's what community lawyering is about, is once you know the issue is there, finding out the best way that you can help and who the best people in the community are to do it. Another tool that you can use as a community lawyer is community legal education, and it's helpful because it helps build relationships with community members and organized groups. And so in my work that I do, we created a series of legal presentations on the topics that the community identified as important to them. That included consumer rights, tenant rights, access to the courts for people regardless of their immigration status, legal protection for survivors of violence. And these are the topics that we are prepared to talk about and discuss and are very well received by the community groups. And it's the beginning of a great relationship. So I work with local organizations and I learn a great deal from them. But I also look to my legal aid community for information and strategies about what's happening across the country. And I read the Clearinghouse review. I love the hard copies, I collect them. And I also do the online because it gives me a broader view of what the issues are. And I had the opportunity to contribute an article about how to vigorously represent survivors of violence in state court, and I was very pleased to hear that it was used for training all across the country. And I think it's a great way to stay a little bit ahead of what's happening so that we can be creative, and then we can also look to the people that are writing about these issues for more ideas or support.